Hello everyone, Marguerite here again. Today we have another D&D story time called She Did It To Us Again. She Did It To Us Again. If you haven't seen my first story in this, I guess, mini-series about my DM pulling the rug out from under us, I'll link it at the end of the video and in the description. My DM. Great lady. Appreciate her. I think she might like to mess with us a little bit, but we love her. Me and my group. This is the group with Violet, good old emo, sad girl Violet, who's not so sad anymore. She hasn't been sad for a little while. She's been feeling pretty good. That's besides the point. We were at an amazing library called the Library of Lore in the Outlands, because we need to find out some important information about some of our characters' backstories. Not going to get into that. It's too much to explain. But anyway, and there was a bunch of stairs leading up to it. But besides the stairs, there was a little platform, like a magical elevator. So we all got on that platform. And it started taking us up, and it was kind of like a trolley. Like it would go up and it would make stops at every few levels so that you could get off the trolley. At the top, though, something strange happened. The magic seemed to stop working. And it stopped us kind of between two levels. So we kind of had to do a little climb off the trolley and get off. And we examined the elevator, and it seemed like almost like the magical system was overloaded. So we're like, okay, that's strange. But we were near the top of the stairs, so we didn't mind. We just climbed the rest of the way up. So we got up to the upper platform of this library before the big door that went to the library. And the big door had runes along the top of it. And one of them said in common, the Library of Lore. So we're like, awesome, we're at the right place, which is good. And the doors seemed like they were supposed to open. They were supposed to slide apart, kind of like a sliding glass door. And they weren't doing that. And we're kind of like, huh, that's odd. So one of the players knocked on this big stone door. And on the inside, we could hear some like scattering, some footsteps. It wasn't like a super thick door, so we could hear a little bit through it. And we hear a voice on the other side saying, "Oh, hello. I'm not sure why the doors aren't working. That's very strange." We asked the voice, like, "Hey, is it okay if we try to force these doors open? Because we got to get in there and we got to learn some stuff." And the voice said, "Yeah, okay, go ahead." And yeah, so two of our strongest player characters, jimmied the door open enough that we could slip through. And it didn't close behind us. It stayed open, which was strange. So the doors were completely magically inactive. So we went in and we met a lovely little owl person who introduced herself as Archivist Irene. And we're like, "Oh, hello, Archivist Irene. We're here to make use of your library." And we did some small talk. She told us about how the library works, how you basically just go through these doors at the back of the lobby and you just think of a question to the library, and the library will provide you a book if it has a book about that information. So we're like, okay, perfect. We start walking towards the doors. She's staying back behind us. Suddenly, we hear a screech. And we're like, oh, what's that? We turn around, and the archivist is getting attacked by a shadow creature. This isn't the first shadow creature we've come across this campaign. So, of course, we're all asking, like, oh, is this something we recognize? Have we seen this before? And our DM's like, no, it's not. It's something new. And we're like, okay. So we go to protect this owl lady. And the shadow creature is like right up on her head and seems to be trying to drill into her skull. So we're like, that's bad. We need to stop that. So we fight the shadow creature. And we've almost gotten it. But right before we could finish it off, it had made a hole in her head. It snuck its way into the hole in her head and seemed to possess her. And we're like, uh-oh, we don't want to hurt this owl lady. She seems nice. So what we try to do is we try to stop her without hurting her. So my character, Violet, casts Hold Person on her to stop her from moving. That works. But because that's only going to last a minute, one of the other characters, a fighter, comes up and bonks her over the head with his sword. Doesn't kill her. So she goes unconscious, and the shadow creature comes back up, and we kill it. And we're like, yes, we saved the owl lady. And we look down and the owl lady isn't moving. And we double checked and made sure that the DM knew that the fighter wanted to do non-lethal damage. And she's like, yep. Unfortunately, the shadow in the brain process killed her. And we're like, oh no, that's very sad. And while we are looking down at this poor little owl lady who is just doing her job, who's trying to be a good library worker, there's no one else in here. Like, the room is empty, except for this poor little owl lady. And while we're staring at her, our DM describes that the world melts around us, and we end up back on the platform, outside. She did it to us again. She did it to us again. Not a dream. We double checked. Was that a dream? Nope, not a dream, she says. Okay. So we're out on the platform. We're all looking at each other and we're all like, did everybody else just have that happen? And everybody's like, yep, owl lady, shadow creature, owl lady died. We felt bad. Okay. So we do the same thing. We get off the platform has stopped. We go back up, and this time we're like, gung-ho. We start to open the doors before you get a chance to answer. Or she starts running towards us like, hey, like, 1 second, let me meet you there. And I have Misty Step, so I Misty Stepped as soon as there was like an inch to see through. And I'm like, we're here to protect you. Something's trying to kill you. You know, not really thinking like, this sounds crazy. Meanwhile, one of the other players runs through holding a dagger ready to fight and is running towards her with this dagger. So she gets panicked thinking that, oh my God, that's what is trying to kill me. She starts to run and we're like, no, wait, stop. Don't run away. We're trying to help you. We're not doing a very good job calming this lady down. So she's running away. She's screaming. Basic D&D chaos. One of our players, to stop her from running away, casts sleep on her. So she goes down. We pick her back up. And when she wakes up, we're explaining to her what's going on. So we are all like on guard and we see the shadow creature approach. Back our ways up into the library with the owl lady so she doesn't die. And we close the doors. So we're explaining to her what's going on. And she's kind of believing us. She's like a little bit freaked out still. She's like, okay, well, I'll explain the library. And we're like, we already know how the library works. You told us already. And she's like, okay, that's crazy, but sure. Think are questions that we need to know for our backstories into the library. Because we are like, okay, that door is closed. We'll watch for the shadow creature, make sure it can't sneak under the door or something. And we'll try to get our questions answered a little faster than usual. While we are thinking these questions into the library, and the library is providing us with some knowledge, we hear music. That's weird. As I recall, actually, we heard music before. We went back in time a couple minutes. Uh-oh. So while we were thinking that, we start to gather up the books we can. And then the library is kind of trying to lead us to the information we need that it can't provide us to us directly. We get transported back to the platform. So now we know the situation. When that music plays, that's when the time warp is about to happen. It's like kind of like a music box music. And so this time we have a mission. We have to get as far into this library as we can, get the information we need, because all the books that we had gathered up are gone. Our hands are empty. Any magic that we had used to protect the owl lady the first time, our spell slots are back. So we didn't lose anything, we didn't gain anything. Our person who is trying to find, is the most dedicated to this backstory mission, trying to find the information, he runs ahead. He ignores the owl lady completely. He runs ahead into the library. The rest of us are kind of not sure what to do. A couple of us are like gonna wait for another time loop to see if anything happens. My character is a little bit younger, a little bit indecisive, so she's kind of like, should I follow them? Should I not? The player character who's most dedicated to this research situation is running ahead. Completely ignores the owl lady, doesn't warn her, goes into the library, thinks the question again. The library is starting to lead him where he wants to go. He gets to the bottom of the stairs, and there is a creature there. A big roundish creature, mouths and teeth and hands. And it kills him. It straight up kills him, and another player who went with them straight up kills them. But then they hear the music right as they're dying, and the time warp happens again, and they're back and they're fine. The person who got the furthest into the library believes that the way to stop the time warp is on the other side of this scary creature that can kill in one shot. So our next mission is to try to get past this creature. But that's not the point of this story. The point of the story is that just like the nightmare dream situation that our DM pulled on us last time, she pulled another one on us, and we never saw it coming. I gotta give my DM credit. She's very good at making us not realize something crazy is about to happen and then it happens. She's very good at plot twists. Or we're very bad at seeing them, I'm not sure. But the moral of the story is I love my DM. I wish I was as good at her as these situations, and I can't believe she did it to us again. That is all. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little D&D story time. We'll talk to you next time we're here. And I hope you're having a great day. If you're not having a great day, I hope your bad day is over with soon. We'll see you next time. Like and subscribe. Bye-bye.